Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a first impression, and I feel like I wear this dress constantly, but it is a work day. It is early Monday morning, not even 8 a.m., and I wanted to try this foundation out. This is Gorgeous Cosmetics Base Perfect Liquid Foundation. I have been eyeing this for a while now, but it is a little bit expensive. I believe it's $45. So I've kind of been like holding out. You guys know I love my Sephora 10-Hour Wear Perfection Foundation, and that's $20. So yes, I was kind of waiting, and then one day I was just like, I have 45 extra dollars, I need to buy this. Pretty much that's how it happened. So I am going to try this out, but first I'm going to start priming my face. And the primer that you guys probably know by now that I obsess over is this Naked Skin Beauty Balm from Urban Decay. And I just realized this has SPF 20 in it, so that's kind of cool. I don't know if you can tell, but that beauty balm really, it's not going to erase it, but it really did like cover it up just the slightest bit, and I've never had another primer that does that. It's still noticeable, but it's not as red, it's not as like in your face. It kind of like masked it just a little bit, so I want you guys to notice that. And so now I'm going to go in with this foundation. This is in the shade 2YBP, and on the website they don't have swatches of them, they have like a picture of like a little glob of the foundation, and then they do have a page where there's like a description. So 2Y is a yellow, BP I guess is just Base Perfect, but it's like a yellow undertone, and I'll put a link to that specific page in case you're wondering what color you would be. And there's a wide range of colors, all from very light to pretty dark, so I do like that they have that. It's pretty nice packaging. I do like how sleek it is, and it is 30 milliliters, so a decent amount of product. And I'll just read what it says on the side here for you so you can see what they're going after. This smooth, oil-free emulsion blends effortlessly onto the skin. Special light diffusing pigments amplify the light, giving skin a healthy luminosity. Contains vitamin A and E to soothe and condition the skin. Medium to full coverage, suitable for all skin types. Blend onto skin using foundation brush 025, which of course is their foundation brush, or a sponge. I am going to go in with the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. Obviously, I love this, and this is a clean one that I just got damp. So I love the pump. I'm going to put some of this on the back of my hand, and I can tell you that one pump is never going to be enough for me. And I know that I probably look pretty pinkishy on camera. In person, I don't really look that pink, but I did go out in the sun yesterday, and I got a little bit too much sun. I think this is the darkest foundation that I own. One thing that I was reading on the website as far as returns go, I think most of the products are just returned like normal. You send it back and then you can get a refund, or you can purchase a replacement. But the foundation is awesome. They have a policy where you do not even have to return the product. If you get the wrong color, you just go on their website, and I haven't done it, but you contact them and basically say, this is not my right foundation color. They say, what shade do you want? And you pick out a brand new shade. They ship it to you. You don't have to pay a dime. And I think that is so nice. You can give this to a friend or whatever you want to do with it, but I just think that is like, I've never heard of a company doing that, so I was really impressed when I read that. So I'm just going to start dabbing this out with the sponge. So I have pretty normal skin. I do get a little shiny, not nearly as much as I used to, but I do like, if you're new to my channel, I do like a medium to full coverage foundation. More towards the full coverage than the medium. Usually I get like a medium buildable coverage. This does have a scent to it, which is kind of different. It's kind of floral. It's just kind of like a clean floral smell. I don't get bothered by smells in my makeup unless it's like a bad smell, I guess. But just in case you guys do. So I used that one pump, and it covered my forehead and a little bit down my nose, but To be honest, I don't feel like the one pump went that far, which I'm not super concerned about, but just so you know, it didn't like cover my whole face. I am using a sponge, and as well as they make these sponges, they are going to soak up some of the product. So you can see some of the product is definitely in there. So if I was using a brush, maybe it would go a little bit further, but first observation. So I'm going to go with another pump. The foundation is not super thick, but you can see it's not running down my hand. It's pretty typical if you ask me. It's definitely not liquidy. As far as the smell goes, as I'm applying it, I do smell it, but once I take my sponge away, I don't smell it at all. So I don't think it's something that I'll be like smelling throughout the day. Okay, so that was another pump. This is the end of that second pump. So I think it's going to be something where I need like at least 3 pumps to cover my whole face. So far I feel like the color is pretty good. I was concerned that it was going to be a little dark for me. This brand is not that popular, so I was Googling and like looking for reviews and swatch videos of the foundations, and I could not find any, so I really just had to do the best I could with my own knowledge. If I wasn't a little bit tan right now, obviously, as you can see, I don't think this would match me and I would have to get another color. But again, they do have that policy, which it's like they understand that you're not going to be able to pick your perfect color every time because it is an online purchase. Also, you can buy from the website, and there are a few other websites that I've seen that carry gorgeous cosmetics. One actually is Nordstrom, which is interesting. But I think that if you buy it from Nordstrom and then you get the wrong color, you can't go to Nordstrom and be like, hey, can I just get a new one? You'd have to order it from the website, if I'm not mistaken. So this is another pump. So I have a little bit left. I'm going to go over some of these spots. I don't expect it to cover up this spot because it is very dark. I'll have to put on actual concealer over that. But I do see some little things, like some discoloration that I have from previous acne marks peeking through. So I'm going to put a little bit more on top of those and see how buildable this is. It feels very light on the skin too. It's not like completely not there, but I'm surprised it does not feel like, oh my god, this foundation is like weighing me down. It's really pretty light feeling. Okay, so I think that that's all I'm going to add. I guess I could layer it a little bit more. It did seem to build upon itself, which I do like a lot for those areas where I have a little bit more spots, and so therefore I can, you know, make it a fuller coverage foundation. I don't really smell it anymore. It's kind of like settled into my skin. It does feel light. I feel like the color is pretty good. I could probably be a teeny bit lighter, but looking in the viewfinder, I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to go in with concealer. I'm actually going to finish the rest of my makeup, and I'll let you know what... My bunny is out, and he's chewing on my dresser. Emmett! Hey! Emmett! No. He's like, I'm not a dog. So I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup, and I'll let you know what I think about it when that's complete. Okay, everybody, so I just finished completing the rest of my makeup, and although to some of you it may look like I'm going to be on stage today, I'm just going to work. So I went ahead and did my normal routine, you know, bronzer, concealer. I used the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer underneath my eyes and a little bit like on this area. Everything went on top of the foundation very nicely, bronzer and blush included. I didn't set my entire face. I did set my concealer and a little bit on my T-zone with the Anastasia powder from the contour kit in the shade Banana. So I did set that part, but I didn't set the rest. Now I did use a primer because that's something I would do no matter what the foundation is. I mean, that's just a step that I'm always going to take, no matter if it's a drugstore or the highest end of the highest end foundation. It's just what I like to do. And I also did set it with a setting spray, which is, again, that's just how I do my makeup. So this is the Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray. So at this point, I'm liking it. I'm really annoyed that this spot is basically impossible to cover up because it's so dark. Have you ever had those like post-acne marks that are like gray almost. It's kind of like I don't know what else I could do to cover it up more, but it's hidden enough for me, like I'm not going to cry over it. But so far I am liking it. I'm noticing, as I read on the back earlier, that it did say something about being healthy, has a healthy luminosity, and I do see that because it's not very, very flat, but then again, it's not shiny and it's not like, oh, hey, what highlighter are you wearing? So I do like the finish of it, and I do like the coverage of it. It still feels like pretty much nothing on my face, which is great. And I am going to bring my camera with me today and let you know how it's wearing halfway through the day, and then also when I get home, you will see an update from me to see what my final thoughts are. But right now, so far so good, including the color. So I will check in with you guys in a little while. I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi guys, so a little bit of a midday check-in here. And it has been about 5 hours since I applied the foundation. I have not touched up at all. And hopefully you can see what I have going on here. I have a little bit of like a dry spot here from a post-acne mark, and the foundation kind of has separated a little bit around that, but nothing I don't think that any other foundation would do, or any other liquid product. I'm also looking at myself in the mirror up here. And I do have a little bit of creasing around my mouth from just like smiling and talking. And I am a little bit glowy, shiny, but I would say it's a little more glowy rather than shiny. Like, I don't think it looks greasy, but it definitely does not look matte either. So I am so far pretty impressed. It has not separated very much. Another thing that I did notice is I wish that I would have added my Benefits Professional on this area, because my pores don't look too bad, but they are a little noticeable when I get up close to the mirror. So I wish with my Urban Decay Beauty Balm, I wish I would have added a little bit of the Professional in this area as well. And I think the next time that I do use the foundation, I will try that out. But as I said, no crazy creasing, nothing crazy breaking apart, just a little bit of a like glow I have going on. And it is very hot here in Florida right now. My car says 93 degrees and it's very humid, so I'm not really surprised, but I am liking it. I am going to continue on with my day, and I'll check in when I get home, and hopefully that'll be at like the 8-hour mark, so I'll let you guys know. So it is officially the end of a very long work day, and it is about 6:30. So I've had this foundation on for about 10 hours, which I think is a very good amount of time to be able to review something like a foundation. And I do like the foundation, and I would recommend the foundation. I had to touch up one time, as you saw in my midday check-in. I did have some glowiness, a little bit of shine. I did have some slight creasing around my mouth from smiling and talking, which I did have to touch up just a little bit. And just a side note, the brush that I usually carry with me that I didn't have with me today is this little retractable kabuki brush. This is just from Eco Tools. You can find Eco Tools, gosh, I think at like Walmart, maybe even CVS, Walgreens, but I found mine at Ulta. It was like $6, and it's a pretty nice, soft little kabuki brush, and I just use that to like buff out the sides of my mouth where I get that creasing, and it seems to work really well. I just brought it inside because I need to wash it. So there is no crazy separation. There is no, discoloration. It didn't seem to oxidize really. Like I mentioned before, I kind of wish I would have used the Professional product. I did gather a little bit here, if you can see, around some post-acne marks that are still healing, and so they're quite dry. And so it did gather around those little dry spots, but as I think I mentioned at least, that's to be expected. As far as I'm concerned, that's to be expected with pretty much any foundation that you're wearing. One thing that I did notice that I feel like set this foundation apart from the other ones that I have tried and the ones that I own is I feel like my bronzer and my blush has stayed on very well. As you can see, like I still have a decent amount of color like on my forehead area, on my cheeks. I can still see bronzer and blush. A lot of times at the end of the day, I will notice like maybe like one or the other. Like it seems like they just kind of blend together so much to where I can't really tell, you know, too much of a difference. That is definitely something that I have noticed, and I did not wear a long wearing blush or a long wearing bronzer. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish and Give Me Sun for bronzer, and this is a coral blush from Inglot. So basically, I am impressed. I think that it was really nice. It has held up very nicely. I like the coverage. It's not completely full coverage. Definitely have to build it to get a more of a full coverage foundation. I did like how it kept on the rest of my makeup. The question that it comes down to now is, would I repurchase this foundation? And I wouldn't, only because my Sephora 10-Hour Wear Perfection Foundation is pretty much just as good, and it is $25 cheaper. So this foundation I've talked about before. It still is in nice packaging. It has a pump. This has 25 milliliters. This one has 30. So this, you do get a little bit more product. But when it comes down to it, value-wise, I do think that this one is the better value. It also is much more convenient because while Sephora doesn't always have all of their colors in stock, which does get annoying, you are able to walk into a Sephora and pick out your shade rather than buying something online and then paying for shipping and things like that. The creasing for both of these foundations, around my mouth especially, is about comparable. I can't remember whether or not the bronzer and blush I was wearing when I wear this foundation happened to seem to stay on longer like it did today with wearing the Gorgeous Cosmetics. That's the only thing that I can't really remember looking in the mirror and saying, wow, like I'm surprised, look at my blush, look at my bronzer. So I'll be interested to see when I try this tomorrow or the next day to see if that is the case. And if it is, then that's just more reason to continue to buy this one. So in closing, I do think this is a fantastic foundation. I would recommend it. I think that it is definitely worth a try. $45 plus shipping is a little bit steep, and all in all, I would rather spend $25 less on a Sephora brand foundation, again, where I have the convenience and I'm saving some money. So that completes this first impression. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know that I seemed to get a lot of positive feedback when I did my first impression on the Sephora foundation, which I will link down below if you're interested in seeing how I react to my initial application on that one. And I guess, yeah, it continues to be my holy grail foundation until I try the next one. Let me know in the comments below. I'm genuinely interested. What is your absolute favorite foundation? Try to keep in mind that I like medium to full coverage because I would like to try out some new ones. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks. Bye.